Welcome to another episode of Cruising with Kayfabe. I'm Mongo.
And I'm Emily.
I feel like we were just here. So today we're actually going to talk about something I'm uber excited to talk to you about. Today's episode 14, Dem Boys, Top Guys, and Trilogies. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to say it, the best trilogy in wrestling. The Briscoes versus FTR.
These matches were more than brutal. They definitely did not hold back for any reasoning.
No, absolutely not. And honestly, one of the things it did was it got a lot of eyes on the Briscoes, like Emily, who hadn't really seen their career before, but knew of them and now saw why they're one of the best tag teams that no one really talks about.
I knew to be excited. I'd heard all the buzz, but I really had no idea what I was in for when we watched their first match. Fun fact, it was the weekend we moved into our house.
Yeah, I remember hearing the build up to this. We were getting ready to drive down to North Carolina from New Hampshire, which is about a 14-hour drive or 20 if you have animals and small children. And I remember talking to our friend Justin about the Briscoes FTR. And I just got uber excited that it was now a reality. So to give everybody a quick background, when the Briscoes first started out, they kind of rose up the ranks through Combat Zone Wrestling, all the way up to Ring of Honor, did some stuff in New Japan, Impact a little bit recently, but they were never really mainstream. They were always kind of on Ring of Honor in the independents. They were still winning titles. They were still getting recognition. They were still being Dem Boys from Delaware, just creating havoc. And no, before people ask, they're not related to the Briscoe brothers, Jack and Jared Briscoe from WWE Hall of Fame. It's just, that's a name they chose because it's a wrestling legacy name. And as the Briscoes rose up, FTR, known as the Revival or the Mechanics, were rising up through NXT as well, a few years obviously later. They would get their recognition, start to be known as the best tag team in NXT. So you had the Young Bucks, you had the Briscoes, you had the Revival, you had all these tag teams bring back a lost art of tag team wrestling. Because the Hardy Boys starting to do the Broken Hardys thing. So all this hype, everyone started getting excited. Well, the Revival would change everything in the pandemic. They would arrive in AEW as the Revival. And Ring of Honor would have uncertainty. Because the pandemic took away the one thing that really kept Ring of Honor alive, which was live events and going to different cities, especially WrestleMania week. WrestleMania week was huge for Ring of Honor. They would do a lot of their Supercards of Honor or other shows in the same city. Same thing with SummerSlam. They thrived, they counted. So when the pandemic happened and there was no crowds, Ring of Honor, unfortunately, had to shutter and do what they could because they didn't have a good TV deal. Fast forward, Tony Khan shockingly buys Ring of Honor, and wow, now there could be a chance for the now Revival just left WWE and have shown up, and they have their dream match coming with the Young Bucks. But could they really fight the Briscoes? Could the Young Bucks fight the Briscoes? All this possibilities are starting to happen.
It was really awesome to see FTR come into AEW. And I hope one day, things can get put aside and we can see them boys come in because they will get a pop. They have earned that. I think they have more respect than people give them credit for.
And yes, what Emily's referring to is unfortunately about 9-10 years ago, Jay Briscoe had sent some very controversial tweets that he claims was in character, has since apologized for and donated money to charities to try to help remedy. But Warner Television does not want them on TV. So that's why these pay-per-views we're going to talk about. And now the Honor Club is a good chance for them to be exposed more to the business and have some of these crossover matches because, like Emily said, they deserve that pop. Like they deserve that big crowd. They've busted their ass for 20 years to show that they're also one of the top 10 tag teams in wrestling. And Dem Boys being Hall of Famers in Ring of Honor and spoiler, 13-time champions in Ring of Honor, it's not by accident.
All three of their matches definitely were brutal. They did not hold back again. I already said that, but they went chop for chop every single match. They utilized everything they had. Their tandem tag teaming, the fact that commentary pointed out every time, but it was good to know that the Briscoes are the best at cutting the ring.
And absolutely. And that's why I love FTR as well. So when the revival came to AEW and their arrival, that's a lot of alliteration, but FTR, they started really getting that traction they deserved. So they would start having these matches and start showing why they belong. And then they would dethrone the Young Bucks to the AEW world titles. And that's when people started to notice FTR more. To be honest, a lot of people didn't give them the credit they deserved. They had a killer feud with DIY at NXT. If you watch the NXT run, you're going to be sad that you didn't see it, because them as the mechanics / the revival in NXT, they were still having close to 5-star, if not 5-star matches. Then they come to AEW, they have a 5-star, 5.25 according to Dave Meltzer, with the Bucks. And now, flash forward to 2022, and there's been months of teasing. And like you said, we're driving down North Carolina. We find out that it's official that the Briscoes, them boys, at Supercard of Honor in April 2022, April 1st, is going to happen. A dream match is going to happen. You have FTR versus the Briscoes in their very first match. And no one knew what to expect, because you had a lot of shit talking that happened before. The FTR had just won the AAA tag team title. Well, I shouldn't say this one, because they've had them for a while now, because we took pictures of them in Boston.
Yes, they'd had the titles at least since probably October, September.
And it could be further. I apologize. I didn't look. I can look quickly. But knowing that they were starting to rise, because they had already held the AEW tag team titles, people have been kind of questioning their booking lately about that. But at this point, they're going for the Ring of Honor titles. They're going to try to get ready for this dream match. So this match is basically billed as who's the best. The Briscoes were the best in Ring of Honor. FTR has been killing it in AEW and on the indies at this point. But now you're going to see put up or shut up time. You're going to go ahead and see them have that match finally. And you're going to go ahead and see this match that the internet's been wanting because of all the shit talk. And I just double checked too while we were looking. It was March 10th, 2021 when they won the tag team titles for the AAA. They came out and defeated the Lucha Brothers. They dressed up like conquistadors. Remember they came out with the Lucha gimmick? I remember now. So I apologize. I didn't mean to backtrack there, but I just want to make sure I got the dates right. So they had been AAA tag team champions. They're going against the 12-time Ring of Honor champions who were going to be inducted to Ring of Honor's first Hall of Fame. So everything was on the line. And the buildup was fantastic. The call-outs, them calling them little bitches for ducking them. And like Emily likes to point out, I don't want to steal our thunder, but their Twitter game.
Yeah, they had a Twitter beef for 4 months prior to this match. And I'm sure other stuff went back further as well because, again, they've known each other for years.
So think about the influence FTR's had on social media. When they were in NXT, what did Cody Rhodes always say in BTE? Fuck the revival. To a point where the Young Bucks did it, and except that Young Bucks match, probably back as early as 2015, 2016, they started doing that. Why FTR is the joke for Fear the Revival, but it's also an in-joke, fuck the revival. So their whole name is off the joke, fuck the revival, and Twitter. Now they have Briscoes, who have a YouTube and Twitter presence like no other, going after FTR. Like, how cool is that?
But in the first portion of the match, you see Mark and Cash lock up, which is surprising because you would think it would have been Dax and Jay.
And a lot of this was too because Dax was kind of getting a singles push starting around this time and was going on a tear. They had the Owen tournament that he was in because this was right before Double or Nothing. So he was in that Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. So he was killing it there. He had a match with CM Punk. So I think it was smart to start with Wheeler because the showcase, Wheeler is fucking talented too.
Far from, I feel like it's a bigger word than talented, but to show how awesome all four of these guys are, in the beginning, they didn't even ring the bell yet, and there were holy shit chants throughout the entire crowd.
Yeah, this is the second time we watched it, because we've rewatched it to make sure obviously, there's been 3 now. We want to make sure we didn't tell you a spot from the wrong one. That crowd gave me goosebumps again, and it was literally the second time we watched it because we ordered it the first time. But shout out to Honor Club because it was easier to find it on order because I paid the $9 a month because what a deal that is. But
if you aren't, you should.
Yeah, because we're gonna start talking about that in future episodes. We've already gonna start planning at least do one Ring of Honor deep dive a month. Next month there might be some water and cruising involved with our first Ring of Honor / special event. So we're really excited because we got to rewatch these again. And Emily can attest the quality was fine. It wasn't like it was buffering. It looked like we were watching a pay-per-view. It looked like we popped in a DVD.
It was perfect.
And to hear that crowd again was just gave me goose pimples. But like you said, yeah, they start locking up. They start really exchanging a lot of shots, and they weren't going light on each other. They were peppering those punches. They were slamming those slaps. Yeah, I'm good with my alliteration tonight.
Dax tossed a chair in, and Ref Turner caught it before it could even land in the ring. It was very impressive.
And their chemistry together, like they blended so well in this first match. Like it looked like they've been wrestling for years. Like one person would do an arm drag and it would be super fluid, and then Jay would do an arm drag back and it would be even more like it's like they knew each other. They anticipate each other's move. This didn't look like they were like, okay, you go, I go. This looked like there was a real fight. It had violence. It had that technical aspect of it. It was brutal strikes. And then all the different submissions they used. And my favorite tribute is Mark is on the apron, goes bang, bang, gives an elbow drop to the outside to Dax.
I liked that Mark was put up through a table instead of down.
That was
so
brutal.
They pulled him upwards into all the hard metal of the table. And I have never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, there was a moment where there was a huge brawl outside the ring, and they kind of went in the corner and like they stopped the match for a moment. Remember, like the doctors came out.
There was a nasty fall from the top rope down to the floor for Mark and Dax.
It looks bad too. I honestly, even when it first happened in April, I was like, oh God, I hope that's not a concussion, because like that's the last thing you want. They're literally out there killing each other. We don't need them to get a concussion and have to end the match or wrestler safety. We want them to still be safe at the end of the day.
So Dax and Cash actually worked together to get Dax back into the ring. Wheeler threw him in and then helped him by almost like nudging him, and they nudged each other onto their feet so that they wouldn't get the count out. It was really cool just to see how a tag team like them have worked together for so long, and they're a brotherhood at this point without even really being brothers,
And I like the callback to the DIY spot. They were in mutual submissions in the middle of the ring, and they reached out and they grabbed each other's hands because remember this for later. They're holding each other's hands so no, don't tap. And it's just such a great spot when Cash is grabbing Dax, and you see that brotherhood, and you see they've literally, I know they use this a lot in the trilogy, they went to war. Like they weren't stopping. They just, it was brutal. And the roof was about to blow off because they would hit the big rig and count 1, 2, 3, and you had new Ring of Honor champions to a shocked Briscoe.
My favorite part about it is that Cash belly flops right onto Dax to celebrate. It was iconic in my eyes.
It was awesome. And it was brutal. And I said it, I'm going to say it like 100 times. That's me, our buzzword. Like, you win a prize if you tell me how many times I said it. Not really, but
really, like, go back and listen again because, we could use that.
And Meltzer would give this match 5 stars. And I couldn't agree with him more. Epic match. I don't even know that we were missing that in life. And this really elevated FTR too, in my opinion. Not that they weren't already top guys, but now people really took them serious as, no, we're top fucking guys. We went toe-to-toe with the Briscoes and we won.
I was trying to take notes and look through this match quickly, and I realized afterwards it's okay to have 4 pages of notes for these 3 matches because they are epic matches.
And the story they told in the ring, like this story, not one of those 4 members, not Mark, not Jay, not Dax, not Cash, not one of them wanted to quit. They kept going, and that's what made it electric. And that's why when the unthinkable happened, they announced a rematch. So this wasn't intended, or no one thought it was going to be a trilogy. But we had the summer coming up, and Ring of Honor decides, let's go to Boston, baby. So Death Before Dishonor in July of 2022 They come to Boston. They're already announcing Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal for the television championship. You see Claudio is going against, I believe, I have it right in front of me here. We have Claudio going. Gresham. Claudio, yeah, he defeated Gresham. Good job, babe.
So, I remembered because he was in some hot water at the time. So that's
right. He had the temper tantrum after this match.
Yeah, so we were kind of already thinking he was losing his championship because he was kind of giving off some heat.
And so you had announced that. You had announced Yuta versus Garcia for the Pure Championship. So you had all this electricity for it. And then they announced the main event. They said FTR versus the Briscoes, part 2, and a 2 out of 3 falls match, which is the Briscoes stipulation. That's their Ring of Honor. That's their shtick. They hold the record for most victories in the 2 out of 3 falls in all of wrestling, not just in Ring of Honor. Did you know that?
I did not.
So this was their thing. This was, okay, you guys got to win on us. Come to our world. Come to our match. And let's fucking do this. You think you got a cheap victory on us? Let's do this. You have to beat us twice if you want to keep those titles. And FTR had just won the IWGP championships at Forbidden Door. So now you have FTR, who they beat the Briscoes in April. They become the IWGP champions in May. So their rocket ship has taken them straight to fucking Pluto. Like they're out of this world, no pun intended. And now they're going against the Briscoes too, which I already highly regarded as the best match of the year. We're about to run it back. Hell yeah. So they have a 2 out of 3 falls match. And this would be about a 40-plus minute match, but I'm going to ask you, babe, second time you watched this, did it feel like you watched 80 minutes of this match?
No, not at all. When they called back and they were like, we're 20 minutes in, we looked at each other like, we're 20 minutes in?
And it didn't feel like that because it was just so incredible the way they just started out. They had Mark holding back Dax. And like Emily said earlier, they are best cutting the ring in half. They kept him isolated in the corner. They were working body parts. They were working FTR style.
Let me pile through these 4 pages of notes. This is where it gets me. Mongo's got his up on the computer, but I'm just so old school.
But that's great because I'm going to use that segue where you're looking. That's FTR's whole style, is their old school wrestling with a modern twist. I'm using notes on a computer. I'm using new school. You're using old school. We're literally doing FTR style notes while we're talking about FTR match. Boom.
Oh, so it was commentary. We're commenting on how the Briscoes and FTR communicate with grunts because they don't need the words. They know what they're doing to one another. They know what they're going to pull off next. And they're just going with grunts with each other, which is kind of amusing. And then with focusing on body parts, Cash's neck, they kept doing headlocks, drops. They kept really focusing on his neck and Dax's shoulders.
And that's what's great. That's why their styles work, because the Briscoes can adapt to any style. They had the trios title with Bully Ray when they kind of had their hardcore run. El Generico and Kevin Steen, they're regarded as one of the best feuds in wrestling versus the Briscoes, which I'm excited to start going back and watching some of this. They could go old school, they could go new school. They're hybrid, and that's what FTR is. And I think that's why people will kind of poo-poo their style until they watch it, is they both have that hybrid style of going old school and going new school.
When Cash clotheslined Mark on the apron, that looks so painful.
That's not a bump I would ever want anyone to take. It looks brutal. And what about the suplex to the bare floor, basically?
Nope. Don't sign me up. I don't want part of that. Also, I like that they also had a dock ringside, because that's something I think is really big that they have that available.
I will shout out, WB, AEW now, Ring of Honor for always having a doctor right at ringside. Not only did they save Jerry Lawler's life in 2011 when he had a heart attack, but countless wrestlers, they've stopped matches before. So as a fan, you appreciate that, because, how physical these matches go. You probably need like 3 doctors.
We saw, not to harp on this, but we saw the upset with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara's match, and that's the last thing that you want to see is someone continue to push through when they really shouldn't be.
You know, it's like the NFL. Shout out to Nelson Aguilar on the Patriots. Even if you're not a Patriots fan, I got to give him props. He's not even my favorite player, but Devontae Parker took a nasty fall to the turf, and they're about to start the play again, and he's like waving his arms trying to get the official's attention. He was looking out for him, and that's what we should do. And that's kind of what the wrestlers are doing. And you can see the doctor looking out for FTR. Like, we don't care. This is a dream match. We got to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, they actually, after they had already checked on him, he got thrown right into the corner post and put into a doomsday device.
Which I'm going to say I absolutely love in this match. They were stealing each other's finishers. The Briscoes would hit the big rig. FTR would hit the doomsday device. And I think if anyone, excuse me, deserves to use the doomsday device and give it the legacy of how Hawk and Animal wrestled, it's the Briscoes, because they remind me of a Legion of Doom with how they communicate, how they flow in the ring, and how they just beat the shit out of someone and make it look fun. Like, they're psychotic about it.
Yeah, and this doomsday device would lead to the first pinfall through the matches.
And the Briscoes holding up, that's one, baby. And they got that first pinfall. So now it's sudden death or Briscoes on their end. Like, all they have to do is pin to win or submit to win. But now FTR, they're in that hole. They got to get 2 in a row now to win.
And to no surprise, the Dax is the first one to get some color, and he actually gets color on his chest from some chops.
Yeah, they say a fingernail might have caught him or something, but he got chops, so his chest is like, it's blood red, and they keep harping on it. They're like, every chop, that vein's pumping and squirting more blood, and you can see the pain in his face. But this was during the whole when he talked about fighting like a little girl, and you could hear people saying "fight like a girl" in the crowd, and I thought that was like, it was nice. Like, shout out to Lowell, Massachusetts for keeping that adrenaline going, because they're a hot crowd online, and our friend Corey was in attendance, I believe.
I think so. He has some great pictures as well.
Curtis, who met AEW, who let Cam sit next to him at the ramp, he was there. I know that. So it's cool to know that this was kind of in our backyard.
And Dax actually would wrestle for about 30 minutes straight through this. So they gave Cash the hot tag.
Oh, the crowd, when he tagged in, they blew up. I don't know how they have this much energy. They blew up.
Yeah, the crowd was definitely loving this match.
And they kept chanting "fight forever, fight forever." And normally, I'm going to say, I fucking hate that chant, or I hate the "this is awesome" chant, because they're overused. But when they were chanting "fight forever," I meant it, because then we want them to fight forever. Because then they were like, "Oh, there's only like 15 minutes remaining." You're like, "What? It's been 30 minutes already?"
So Dax actually was holding Mark back because they had two counts in a row.
And they just kept pelting each other. And another spot where they went for a clothesline in the corner, and he got him right in the throat, and he was holding his throat. Like, it was brutal. Every shot looked like it hurt more than the shot before.
Jay knocked Cash with a bell.
Yeah, he literally rung his bell with that bell.
Yeah, he got cut open pretty good on that one.
It was gushing. And that's the other thing. We thought this was a lot of color for a match, but they didn't really keep it in the ring. They were all over the place. They were in the barricades. They were in the crowd at one point.
It was insanity to see how they went everywhere.
So now FTR is having to keep up with the Briscoes style. So just like, the Briscoes were like, "Hey, we did your style in the ring. We were beating you down. We were working your body part. Now you're in the crowd with us."
And commentary, shout out. You guys did amazing keeping the storytelling alive. They sat there kind of explaining things as they went along, which is how we learned a lot as well. Is like, not just, we do our own research, but commentary hit.
And that's what commentary is supposed to do. That, to me, that's what a color commentary is. They should fill you in with their background, their history. And then you have the play-by-play who's supposed to call the spots. So, like, Excalibur is fantastic at play-by-play, but I feel like he has to do a lot of color, because Jim Russell, when he views it, was like, "Oh yeah, yesterday, Jim, that was today." But yeah, shout out to a good commentator. And then Cash would set it up, and Dax would hit. They hit a big rig, and they get that first pin. So now it really is sudden death.
And the fight forever chants go louder and louder.
And we wanted it because the crowd sensed that it was getting close to the end, because they're at probably 33, 34 minutes. But again, they announced 10-minute warning. It didn't feel like it. and they just would go ham.
Now you also have Mark having a crimson mask, so again, the blood is just pouring.
And we thought that this was going to be the bloodiest match until what we watched this past weekend, but holy crap. They destroyed each other. They went in for the kill. There was a lot of false finishes. There was a lot of times you thought it was over. Then poor Mike Posey gets a shot, but oh man, that was such an oversell. He acted like he got shot out of a cannon.
So they had an 8-count pile driver. Obviously, only 2 of the counts counted.
Yeah, that was a pretty brutal pile driver too. Can I just say all these pile drivers in these matches we've seen, like, God, I worry about their skulls when they drop down.
Not something I would want to take ever. Dax starts bleeding into his eye while he's getting into a submission.
And they have a callback to the spot, but they're holding, Dax back from reaching his hand out, and they're just pummeling each other's heads, and they're just laying into him again. And the Briscoes really had control of this part. Like, they had a lot of the momentum in this match.
You hear holy shit chants going while the Briscoes have a tandem submission.
And, they reach out, they, go for the spot to encourage each other to keep going. And it just sets up what I thought was the coolest moment. They go ahead and they start fighting. Jay gets on the turnbuckle. Dax climbs up, and he does probably one of the grossest pile drivers. And I don't mean gross as like disgust, but like it was deadly looking off the top rope.
Yeah, so then they get a 3 count, and FTR retains.
Oh, and I remember this. We didn't watch this. I believe we stopped it early, but I remember afterwards he cut the most iconic I fucking love wrestling promo. And it was such a great moment, and they closed out the show. And this is when I think I got hope that everyone's shitting on Ring of Honor right now about paying $9.99. But look what they've shown us already with the Briscoes and FTR. So far, these have been 2 of the best matches. Dave Meltzer would give this one 5 stars as well. I'd give it 6 friggin' stars.
Everyone complained. Actually, no. Everyone was excited when the WWE Network went to $9.99. Everybody was over the moon because you were getting your pay-per-views in for free. Yeah, so where's all the love now?
That's where it is because, it's to pay for the pay-per-views and they don't come till 9 days later. Yes, but you have the Ring of Honor library, which we've been clamoring for. And Tony is going to fix whatever music license issues they have from the old school, whatever issues they have with the merger with Sinclair. They're going to find a way to get all the footage on there. And he's going to grow and improve the app. So we subscribed $10 a month to watch something where we can watch a lot of crossover talent, like more New Japan. That's the other thing. The Forbidden Door can continue. And they're already doing Forbidden Door 2. I want to announce it here. It's already leaked out that this summer they're doing Forbidden Door 2 again.
Speaking of leaks, did anybody else see Sasha Banks is coming?
Yeah, she's going to New Japan, and she's going to work with Stardom. And officially, she's a free agent January 1st. So I know I'm not excited for her in AEW, but I'm excited to see maybe she can go in the Bullet Club. Like Emily's been, kind of teasing in her mind for her theories. I think she could be a member of the Bullet Club, the Banks, Banks Club. That'll be an easy shirt to make a bunch of dollar bills like the Skull Banks Club.
It will be perfect. I think that that's something she would be good for because she's gonna make more money being through the indies. And again, like, we like her. There's nothing wrong with what she's doing. We just know that her mentality isn't really for a locker room full time.
But I think I want to see her in New Japan. I want to see what she can do. I'm staying. I wish Emily had the day off. Oh, I think you do if it's technically Sunday to watch this because I'll stay up and I think it's actually a Wednesday. Shoot. But either way, I'm gonna stay up and watch this. I'm sure Emily's gonna find a way to listen to it. We're gonna order this, and I'm gonna figure a way to stay up and watch it. I don't care if I'm tired. I'll just drink a lot of coffee that morning.
I totally do not watch wrestling while I'm working Wednesdays.
No, and it's not like I'm not gonna get my work done. I'll just make sure, like I said, she'll just bring me home three cans of coffee that week.
Cans? You mean jugs?
Yeah, whatever. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Hey, at least
we got jugs in this house.
At least, yes, we do. Hong Kong. All right, before we go too far off the rails, we're going to go to our third and final match, which was just this past Saturday last week. And we didn't get to see it live, not unfortunately, because we were at a live event, but we didn't get to see it live, but we got to watch it this week.
Yeah, we watched it a few times, had to watch a few more highlights. I can't get enough of this match.
Honestly, probably one of the best dog collar matches I've ever seen. I'd say Brody Cody because of what it means, and Punk and MJF and this probably tie right up there, like 1A, 1B. But
this match is everything. They were utilizing that chain way more than I anticipated.
I guess it's just hard because there's so many legendary ones, but yeah, it was everything I could have wanted and more. I made a joke TikTok video where I was like, "Oh, I don't know if there's anything worth buying this pay-per-view for." Yeah, I don't know if there's anything worth to see if I don't think we're gonna buy Final Battle. Briscoes, dog collars, FTR. Yep, we're buying it. And you know what? It was worth the watch. And I didn't think they could keep topping themselves because what makes trilogies fizzle out every time is that one mediocre match. Can you find a mediocre match, babe? I'll wait.
No.
Yeah, I'd love you to at me at It's Mongo on TikTok or at Cruising with Kayfabe_Emily and debate us because I guarantee you'll be wrong.
So wrong.
There's not one mediocre match in this trilogy. It is absolutely worth watching every single one. And this one was the piece de resistance. It was the chef kiss. It was everything. Because you've been wanting to see them run it back one more time. And the Briscoes challenged FTR. And yes, there wasn't a lot of builds, but they didn't fucking need the build.
No, when a tag team is this good and both of them are this good, they do not need that.
You're telling me back in the day, Ricky Dragon Steamboat, when they were on their third match, you're telling me that you were pissed off because it wasn't a long build for the trilogy? Like, it doesn't make sense. You're telling me that when people saw Empire Strike Back, when our parents saw Empire Strikes Back, when they were like Return of the Jedi's coming out, they weren't like, oh, there's no build up to, like, even if there's massive stories, which I know in Star Wars there are, so don't at me. It's just an example of there's always gonna be anticipation.
But do at him, but don't at him.
No, that's a good one. But make sure you can always do it on at Cruising with Kayfabe and all of our other socials too, like the Facebook. It's probably MySpace, knowing how social media is going nowadays. Probably the Zynga accounts. I'm sure those will come back.
Yeah, funny, just to throw it out there, we were trying to research some of the FWE stuff. They do have a MySpace.
Yeah, no. So, and also, I'm still waiting for Angel Fire to make a comeback. But what didn't need to make a comeback was this match because it was amazing. So they come out and they put the chains on them, and that crowd is already on fire. And
they were already selling it. They were pulling at them. They were already going.
And then they didn't hold back. They just start whipping the shit out of each other, those chains. And they weren't just like lightly laying them down. They were like slapping each other's ribs with them. They were hitting each other in the face with it.
They even hit the ref with it.
Oh, that was a brutal spot. Yeah. So at one point he wraps his fist up. One of the Briscoes wraps up their fist and they go to punch Dax and they hit the ref. And he just, is it Turner or Posey? I think it was Posey.
Oh, I didn't get the ref of this one.
I believe
sorry, guys.
I believe it was Posey because Posey has a wrestling background, so he's one I can see bleeding. But he took a shot and he's busted open. But he sold it well. Like, what happened? That just added to the amount of color in this match because this was a crimson ocean of blood. It was just disgusting.
You had Mark flipping into Cash from the stage. So also we need to mention we had Mark and Cash connected. And then we had Jay and Dax connected.
I know why they didn't want to chain two bald guys together.
I don't know, but between the chairs, the chains, and the stairs, everybody was taking a hit.
Good job. I would have stuttered the shit out of that if I did that. The chains, the chairs, the stairs, all mine.
And you had Cash putting Mark threw a pile of chairs on the floor, and then they put the pile of chairs end up in the ring.
Just kidding, babe. I love you. Yeah, when they were piling the chairs up on the outside and the inside, I love that he was trolling the fans because the fans were like, "We want tables." They set up a table and they wouldn't use it forever. They they totally cock teased that crowd. They were like, "Haha, you want tables?" And they set up what had to be like 20 chairs in the ring and like 20 outside.
It was nasty.
And then when they went off the apron into the outside chairs, that just, no thanks. Ouch. And then Dax went into the chairs off the turnbuckles. Right? Who suplexed Dax? Jay suplexed Dax off the rope. And then I didn't think this would happen, but he got him into essentially like an STF position with the chain in his mouth. He was pulling. Cash was trying to climb in, but he was being held back by Mark.
Which is amazing to think of because, again, we've never really seen the chains utilized in a tag team match. I hadn't, at least.
And they reach out. They're going for that spot. Remember I told you to pay attention in the very first match. Dax and Cash reached out. They held on. Hold on, brother. We got this. Hold on. But they couldn't, their hands, they couldn't connect. And they were both wearing white trunks and they were full of blood, by the way. And Dax passes out and barely taps, and the ref stops the match, calls submission. And the Briscoes, I already thought 12 tag team titles was the same. 13-time Ring of Honor champions. And going into next year with their weekly television show and pay-per-views, I'm so excited for the exposure that the Briscoes got, because now I'm super excited to see what can they still do, what's going to be, who is going to face the Briscoes in Ring of Honor. Like, I can't wait. Tony's got the Briscoes at his disposal, people. It's just on the Ring of Honor platform. I am so excited to see where this goes.
Every single title change that happened, I feel happened because of those weekly shows. We're going to have Athena defending every week, probably.
We have Claudio.
It's going to be amazing. And why the fuck wasn't this main event?
Yeah, I agree. This, and no disrespect to Claudio, holy shit! Like, this is what I hate to say. The only thing I really wanted this pay-per-view for, and it delivered. Meltzer gave this almost like 5.5 stars or 5.25 stars. I give this like 10 stars.
We had to pause this because this is where we tapped out. I truly thought this was the main event. I was already so tired. I was like, there's no way there's more. There was. And I'm not just like disgracing it or anything like that. I'm just saying they definitely earned that main event spot.
And they earned the respect, I think, of any old school wrestling fan. And what I like the most is, so then the Ass Boys come out and attack FTR, setting up a match with FTR. And the Briscoes come out to make the save. And they show respect. And they start essentially hugging it out. And to see that respect, not only as like a performer, but storyline wise, like, this was the end of that trilogy. Like, they've went to war. They went to hell and back. They've each bested each other. There's not just one best. They're all goated. Like, that trilogy to me in wrestling, and I'm not just saying because it's fresh in my mind, but I'm saying it right now on December 17th, 2022. FTR just cemented their place in the Hall of Fame. Briscoes obviously well-deserved there. That is the best trilogy in wrestling. There's no debate. I'll even put it up against Ric Flair, Steamboat, other trilogies. That is the best trilogy I've ever seen in wrestling. Hands down. I don't know what's going to compare to that. And I'm a Rock Austin guy. That was the best trilogy I've ever seen.
I can't disagree with that. I definitely think it was the best trilogy.
Yeah. And I know it's just crazy to think that we got to see that and we just got to rewatch it this week. It was 92 minutes for all the matches. I looked it up. We watched an hour and a half twice. We watched 3 hours of this trilogy, and I guarantee if we ever had to rewatch it, I wouldn't complain.
You mean you want to do it tomorrow?
Well, maybe not tomorrow because, I mean, we have nothing else to use it on. But still, like, if you're an FTR fan and you've never seen this match, shame on you. If you're a Briscoes fan and you haven't seen it, time to watch it. If you've never seen this and you just love tag team wrestling, watch it. I don't want this WWE versus AEW bullshit. I don't care. I hate tribalism. I think it's absolutely fucking stupid. I think you like what you like. If you don't like something, who cares? Don't ruin other people's. Don't piss on other people's parade. Like, I absolutely can't stand when someone's like, oh, WWE's better. Oh, AEW's better. I don't give a shit what you think is better than what I think. I enjoy wrestling. I think give something a try before you absolutely knock it, and don't just hate watch something. If you absolutely want to give it a shot. I know people are going to complain about Ring of Honor. I know people are going to complain about the pricing model. But at the end of the day, I feel like $10 a month to watch some of these kind of matches and have a reason to buy those pay-per-views, it's worth it to me. And if it's not for you, that's cool. But I don't know why you're listening to this one episode, this particular episode. So it's not strictly towards you, but just in general, when you interact with other fans, remember, just because someone may only like Roman Reigns and they only may like Matt Riddle, cool. At least they're watching wrestling. But as long as we're not like shit talking each other's takes, like, I've seen too much negativity on TikTok, like these Wrestle Awards. And there's so much controversy, like, then make your own. it doesn't matter because that's just someone's opinion on who they think the best creators are. Cool. Then don't vote. Don't participate. You don't have to. It's just weird what people get their panties in a twist about. Not to use that old phrase, but like this life's too damn short. Just enjoy life. Be happy because at the end of the day, we all end up in the same place. And it doesn't really matter if this podcast has 500 downloads and yours had 3 million. Cool. I'm happy for your success. You don't need to shit on ours or vice versa. Like jealousy is just going to breed hate. So that's just my thought of the day. Just be a good fucking human.
I will say going into 2023, I had not anticipated having started a podcast, let alone starting two.
And I'm absolutely grateful. Tim and Roland.
Or going into 2022. I think I said 2023.
I know what you mean, but I'm absolutely thankful. Tim and Roland, got me into podcasting. I got to, join on wrestling's past, present. I learned so much. I, got to continue my friendship with Roland, even a distance move, same with Tim, and get to chat with them, get to, have fun learning and, rediscovering my love of wrestling and keeping it going and wanting to do these. And then getting to start one with Emily, which we had wanted to do for a while. And I'm still proud of that podcast. There's, I'd still tell people to listen to it in the archives. I'm glad it's still in the archives, and I still love doing this with you. Like I love wrestling. And that's what I think I want to say is wrestling is just my form of entertainment, but it's also my escape, but it's also what Emily and I have in common. So we love doing. So it's not like we're doing this because we're trying to prove anything. It's just, we like shooting the shit about wrestling and we just think it's fun to do it in this kind of form. Because with this technology, it's cool to be able to do this. So we're not looking to get things out of it, but we're looking to have, community. And I love that we have a community.
Sometimes we'll bring Cam on to have, his little cameos, but
that's when he wants to.
It's more about, we want to keep his love of wrestling. We don't want to push anything on him because we don't want him to lose that little sparkle and shine that he has for the business. And he actually, for an 8-year-old, he respects the business. He sees what everybody puts themselves through. He sees the injuries. He sees everything,
Yeah. And, I like that we did tell him obviously about same thing we said earlier tonight. We told him that it was predetermined, but he knows that they take bumps. Like, and I think that's what's helped him is he's talked to the indie wrestlers, and that's why I love these meet and greets.
Mr. Kennedy straight up told us if we have any questions, let him know, and he'll respond back to us. He made sure to give us his phone number.
Because I want to make sure if this is something he wants to do, which again, this is all him. You could talk to you could talk to him. And those you could talk to me. This is what he wants to do. But I want him to be able to meet these wrestlers and get these different experiences. I've learned a lot. I've respected the business more talking to a JT Dunn or an AC or Mr. Kennedy, these road warriors, no pun intended, who just travel up and down because you're like, damn, you really had to wrestle 3 times in one night? Like, that sucks.
The match that Chris Statlander had against Nyla Rose, she was wrestling sick, and she was actually sick that weekend. We saw her the weekend before her match for the title in AEW. So she was at Limitless Wrestling with Jody Threat. She wrestled all weekend sick and then also had her match with Nyla sick. So they do, a lot wrestling.
How many wrestlers you can tell have wrestled injured? Mick Foley pretty much, I don't think he ever wrestled healthy.
No, that man put everything out there for our entertainment. We owe him.
No, and that's what, I think with this trilogy, what showed me is it's a new respect for what they do. It's a new respect for the passion that these guys had, because how can you not love the storytelling of wrestling like that? Like, you had these 4 guys who just hated each other, and they both like, no, fuck you, we're better than you. To have this legit war and battle and to get respect, like you see that as a fan, you go through that experience. It's like watching that movie. It's like watching a trilogy of movies and just having that satisfying ending. Because how many times have you watched a trilogy and the ending is utter shit? Or how many times have you watched it and you're like, that's really how you're going to end this? Wrestling or not.
One Tree Hill, shame on you.
That's great. If you want to talk about a terrible show, I think that's a whole podcast in itself right there.
Maybe that's our next one. We do binge a lot of TV in general.
Yeah, but that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. I don't know about you. Well, you love going down rabbit holes in general.
Yes.
Maybe your past life you were Alice in Wonderland.
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe I was like a detective or something. Who knows?
So, what do you think out of those 3 matches? Would you say, how would you rank those matches?
5 stars across the board.
Which one, how would you rank like 1, 2, and 3?
Every single one brought something different to the table. I think they're all equal with everything. I can't rate them.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was having a hard time, and I was just trying to think of like, how would I put these 1, 2, 3? I can't. I say watch them in order because I think it adds to the buildup of that final match. But I don't know. Like that's just crazy to me that we got to see that match. So I would honestly say probably they got progressively better. I think the most recent one's the best one, but they're all ranked number 1. Like if you were to say go pick a perfect FTR match, I'd just go watch all 3 of these. No, I said 1. Now I go watch all 3.
I think they're also back down to only having the AAA titles.
Yes, because they just lost. They lost. Well, no, they have the IWGP because they're fighting at Wrestle Kingdom in January. Just that's another cool thing. Can we talk about Wrestle Kingdom? That we have Kenny Omega from AEW and Wrestling Kingdom will go back to Japan. We have Gallows. Excuse me, Anderson. Man, I'm getting that backwards. They have Anderson defending his never openweight championship. So we have a WWE guy who's contracted and who's going. So they're going to have a WWE talent, excuse me. They have Sasha Banks potentially, and they're going to have AEW, and they have Impact talent. So this is literally like the international WrestleMania. That's why I really want to watch this. How cool is that?
The true Forbidden Door.
And I can't wait for the real Forbidden Door. I don't know you, but I can't wait for the Forbidden Door 2 to come up. That's going to be freaking awesome. Like, what do you think you would have for a dream match?
Saraya versus B. Priestley.
That would be pretty good. But I think, isn't B. Priestley still technically WWE, or she get released?
Isn't that a Forbidden Door?
True. All right. So we have a few minutes here. So I want to do some wrestling. We're going to do some wrestling trivia on air. We're going to see what we think here. So, babe, which superstar's entrance contains the lyrics, "They broke the mold when they made me"?
Mr. Perfect.
Are you sure? Final answer.
No, but yes.
How do you answer this?
Go next. Oh, no way. My ex-husband?
Dolph Ziggler, baby. Wait, ex-husband. Question 2. Which of the following championships has John Cena never held? Intercontinental, U.S., Tag Team, or World Tag Team?
World Tag Team? No. He's never held the Intercontinental?
Nope. I was shocked. Yeah, that's the one he's never held.
Whose arms are those? They're really veiny and uncomfortable.
I don't know.
They got the gloves. That's not Vince.
I think it's Ryback. They just
Ew,
cropped him.
Ryback. I'm not surprised you're that veiny.
He is vain.
Ugh.
Oh, you mean his arms?
Yes.
Gross. Edge and Christian's famous 5-second pose, which that's the one I got the picture of, 5-second pose, was for the benefit of if you don't get this, babe. So for the benefit of those with
flash photography.
Yes, thank you. Okay, good.
I should read off all the answers next time. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Short attention spans. That's ironic. Cheap seats, video cameras, or flash photography. And thankfully she said flash photography because that would have hurt my soul.
I want to do this one.
Okay.
So, true or false? At 25 years, 1 month, 13 days old, Yokozuna became the youngest WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, that's true.
I love how they put 13 days.
I was wrong.
Oh,
Brock
they threw
Lesnar.
you. 13 days.
It's probably something to do with the days. Well, Brock broke the record, so I think he previously had it. So that's the only reason why my answer is. I'll do this one if you want to read it.
All right. Which former member of the Shield is the only one to have held the Intercontinental Championship?
How old is this?
Is this Seth?
No, Dean's had it too. Or no, Dean's had the US.
No, the one to never have it.
No, it says
to have held. Oh.
So then it's Seth Rollins because Dean had the US title. Nope. So this is old.
Dang it. Man, guys, we're giving you false information.
Yeah, because Seth Rollins had it. That's old. Which superstar was the first to hold the Divas Championship in 2008? Ooh, this one's all you. Your favorite butterfly belt.
Okay, I have to go on a tangent about this for a hot second before anyone comes at me. The belt isn't necessarily my favorite. I personally just like the style of the belt, and I enjoy that growing up. This is the belt that, we looked at. This is the belt we wanted to hold. I wasn't, the age of the women's champion belt. I was the age of the Divas belt, just like Saraya growing up, drawing her belt out. This is the belt that she looked for. This is the one I would have chased as a kid. This is the one I would have wanted.
Fair.
You guys want, your hardcore, your eagle. This was ours. This was our female belt. So the first woman to hold the Divas Championship in 2008, it's between Maurice, Michelle McCool, Melina, and Mickie James. Did they have to give me all M's? I feel like it's Michelle McCool. I'm right.
I knew that one. I was like, I think she knows this one because we talked about it before. All right. Which superstar did Shawn Michaels not partner with to capture the WWE World Tag Team Championships?
Diesel, Marty Jannetty, John Cena, or Triple H? Well, I know he definitely partnered with Triple H. Did he ever partner with John Cena? I'm going to say not John Cena.
I think you are correct.
Oh, Marty Jannetty. Wait, when did he tag with John Cena?
Oh.
Ew.
Because of the championships, that's where they... See, I didn't read that right, but it's right. The Rockers.
Sorry, guys. This is the first time we've tried this, so we will definitely plan ahead.
We'll get better trivia this time. Here's a quick one. It's old and crappy. At WrestleMania 20, Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar with this superstar acting as special guest referee. If you don't know this, who's the referee in Goldberg and Lesnar's match? Special ref.
I have no clue. The choices are Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Stone Cold, or The Rock. And judging by the whats, I was right because I was going to pick Stone Cold. Because I was like, well, Kurt Angle, maybe, but Stone Cold, definitely.
Thank you. I'll do this one if you want.
Which superstar said the following? I am not the biggest, I am not the strongest, but I am damn sure the toughest. Daniel Bryan, Jamie Noble, Dolph Ziggler, or Rey Mysterio?
I feel like I can get swerved and it's Jamie Noble. I think it's him. Daniel Bryan.
I knew that one. I was like, are they swerving
like
me?
Jamie
It's
Noble
Rey?
would say too, though.
Oh, this is for both of us. All right. True or false? Chris Jericho holds the records for longest intercontinental title reign at 454 days. And remember, guys, this might be old. We don't know how old this quiz is. I'm going to say it's true because, honestly, Jericho doesn't get enough records because he created a lot of them. I think this one's true.
I think it's false. I thought it was Pat Patterson. Honky Tonk. Oh.
Ew, Honky Tonk Man.
I forgot that he had the longest. Yeah, it's the Honky Tonk Man. It's a gimmick. That sucks. By the way, total dick.
Wait, that guy looks familiar.
It's a random crowd shot.
Oh.
The longest, and I'm kind of ashamed. I should have known it was Honky Tonk Man. I remember he had some stupid record like that. He unfortunately. So if we're gonna break records, please, can we break that one next? And maybe Cody bring back the white belt one more time, but they probably won't that.
That's a lot of days.
The longest women's championship reign lasted an astounding 10,170 days and belongs to which Hall of Famer?
Alundra Blaze, Mae Young, Fabulous Moolah, or Wendy Richer?
I know this one, so you can go ahead.
Oh, this isn't fair. I want to say Alundra Blaze.
Nope.
No? Is it Moolah?
Yep.
Oh, I shouldn't second guess myself.
She's a bitch, too.
Oh,
no, she's not a good person. Look her up. Which of the following superstars is not billed as being from parts unknown? Oh, that's a good one. So when they say from parts unknown.
So we got Boogeyman, the Berserker, Giant Gonzalez, and Kane. I want to say Kane? Because wasn't he from something to do with Undertaker?
I never pay attention. Shame on me, but I feel like Giant Gonzalez and Berserker were in the late 80s, early 90s, where kayfabe was 100% force and Boogeyman just because it's easier. I think it was King, because I think he was from Death Valley, California, if I remember. Boogeyman. No, I guess I was completely wrong. Maybe because Boogeyman was in your nightmare or something like stupid like that.
I'm going to look it up while we do the next one.
Well, hold on. I'm going to pick a good one for us because some of these suck.
All right.
We're going to do one more before we wrap up. I want to find a good one. Here we go. This is a good one. Because this one is still kind of current. Which of the following superstar has not won the Intercontinental Championship at least 5 times?
5 times? 5 times? 5 times?
So out of all of these...
5 times? 5 times?
Yes, Booker T. Who hasn't won a minimum 5 times? Who hasn't won the IC title minimum 5 times? You have Chris Jericho, RVD, Jeff Hardy, or The Miz.
Can I do a 50-50?
You can eliminate The Miz and Jericho.
I already did that in my head, so this is great. I knew it was between Hardy and RVD. Oh, we've heard those movies on repeat thanks to Cam watching them. Those are 2 of his favorites to watch.
One of a kind. Aye.
Oh my God. The amount of times we woke up to hearing One of a Kind.
Yeah, but I'm in charge of playing that at Kenny's funeral, so I have to love that song.
Jeez. Thanks, Kenny. It's not fucking gruesome as ever.
It's a great song.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm going to say Jeff Hardy. Ooh.
You got it right.
I like that picture of him with the purple and pink.
Yeah. So that was some unplanned trivia just because we just wanted to do something fun real quick. But
hold on. Mongo's going to do some announcing.
Oh, so Boogeyman was from the bottomless pit.
I thought you were going to do his whole thing. I got his whole thing here for you.
You want me to do the whole thing? That's
I want
not
you to do
awkward.
the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, here.
Guys,
and
he's got a
this
talent.
is where everyone tunes out. All right. Introducing first, from the bottomless pit, weighing 260 pounds, the Boogeyman.
Look at that. Look at that.
That was terrible.
It was amazing.
No, you only say next you have to.
I don't have to say shit.
That is true. And that's why I love you. So on that note, I want to thank everyone for listening. This has been fun doing this deep dive. We have some awesome ideas coming up. Can't wait, especially now with the Honor Network. Please make sure you're following us on all of our socials. Leave 5-star review if you think it's good. If it's 1 star, I have 2 words for you. No, I'm just kidding. You can leave that too. But we appreciate all the feedback. Scissor me daddy ass. That's more than 2 words.
I was just saying scissor me.
Weird. Only on a wrestling podcast can you say that and not get like banned or thought to be creepy. So definitely appreciate everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, until next time, always keep the kayfabe. Mongo and Emily love to give a special shout out to The Undone for letting us use their song Misfortune, now available to stream or purchase on Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube, and Spotify. For more information, please visit wearetheundone.com. Make sure to give them a follow on all their socials. Give them a like. They're great guys, they're friends of the show, and they kick ass. Cruising with Kayfabe is also brought to you by W Energy. Visit w.gg and use promo code MONGO, which is MONGO, and save 10% on all orders. And until next time, always remember, set sail, tell some tales, and always keep the kayfabe.